TV and radio presenter Aled Jones originally found fame in the 1980s as a choir boy. His first and biggest hit was Walking in the Air from the animated movie The Snowman. His single of the song reached number 5 in the UK charts. He was just 15 years old when the song was released. But it was such a big success, by the following year, Aled Jones had recorded more than a dozen albums, sold over 6 million copies, and had a biography, Walking on Air, published. Not bad for a 16-year-old, and all because of that song. The thing is, despite often being credited with the recording, it's not actually Aled Jones singing in the movie. Like many other signature songs, this is actually a cover version. The recording in the 1982 movie is in fact Peter Orty, who was then a 13-year-old choir boy at London's St Paul's Cathedral. However, despite being the only vocal song on the soundtrack, Orty wasn't listed in the movie's credits. It wasn't until it was remastered in 2004 that his name was finally added. The animated movie premiered on Channel 4 on Boxing Day in 1982.
This is Channel 4.
It was nominated for an Oscar and won a BAFTA award. Although the book the movie is based on makes no mention of Christmas, the animated adaptation places the events on Christmas Eve and includes a trip to the North Pole and a meeting with Santa Claus. This helped establish the movie as a Christmas favourite, and it gets broadcast every year at Christmas time. In 1985, Toys R Us approached Howard Blake for permission to use his song from The Snowman for an advert. The advert would follow the same storyline as the movie, but instead of flying to the North Pole with a snowman, the young boy and a teddy bear would fly to a Toys R Us store. It would be the toy store's first major campaign since opening their first UK store in Cardiff, Wales, earlier that year. Rather than negotiate with Channel 4 for the rights to use the original sound recording, Toys R Us decided it would be cheaper and easier to just re-record the song. By 1985, Peter Orty, who had sung the original, was 16 years old and his voice had broken, so he was no longer able to sing the vocal in the song. Instead, Howard Blake recommended another choir boy, Aled Jones. The young chorister was already a rising star within classical and religious music, but was only really known to the avid listeners of those genres. Aled Jones had joined the Bangor Cathedral Choir in Wales at the age of 9 and was lead soloist by the time he was 11. His singing had prompted a member of the cathedral's congregation to write to a local record label, encouraging them to sign him.
There is a boy who sings in the Bangor Cathedral Choir who has a truly remarkable voice that reaches to the heart. If you heard him sing, I'm sure you would agree. I am not a relative, and my sole interest is in preserving this remarkable voice for posterity. I feel it be a tragedy if his voice would break and there would be no record of it. Yours sincerely, Helena Ulrich Evans.
He signed a deal with Sane Records, a label that specialised in Welsh folk music and pop music in the Welsh language, and had already released 2 albums when he re-recorded the song. The Aled Jones version was released as a single on the 23rd of November 1985 and it entered the charts at number 85. Peter Orty's original version was reissued by Stiff Records just 3 weeks later and entered the charts at number 63. As Peter Orty was not credited in the movie, and Aled Jones had the benefit of EMI promoting his single, and the Toys R Us ad on high rotation in the build-up to Christmas, it's likely much of the public were unaware that there were 2 almost identical versions of the song around at the same time, and all attention was focused on Aled Jones. His version rose to number 5, while Orty's original peaked at just number 42. Aled Jones became a household name and was able to build a mainstream career off the success of this song, even re-recording it as a duet with his younger self in 2007.
I'm holding very tight, I'm riding in the midnight blue, I'm finding I can fly so high above with you.
But nothing came close to the success of the 1985 cover. Peter Orty went on to have a successful career as an opera singer, establishing himself as one of Britain's leading tenors. Although he'd never got the same fame Aled Jones did, and he was only paid £300 for his performance in the movie, Orty himself has said he was happy to be anonymous, and didn't even notice he wasn't credited at the time. That may well be true, but I think it's important that he gets the credit he deserves, and isn't reduced to just a footnote in the story of Aled Jones. Now, what do you think? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to get all the latest videos.